How's it going? I hope you're all doing as good as I'm doing today. Physically, we can put it like an 8.2. Not that we're doing worse than we were last week. That's just kind of the unfortunate part about having, it's not bad, but whenever you go heavy in a program and you hit those weights and you make that new progress and you feel fucking great, that feeling in that like part of your program will be like the most hyped up you will be physically and mentally most times. So even though the weight's still moving great, I feel like I killed it today. This volume is killing me a little bit because of how many singles I've been doing the past week or so. But mentally, 8.75. It was a great day. I know it looks a little weird because we're at a crunch today. I'm just visiting some family elsewhere, and this is the gym I used to go to where I went to high school. And a lot more homies that I used to talk to than I realized. It was kind of a surreal experience getting to see everybody again. But, everybody's making progress, and that's what matters, and that alone hypes me up even more. But as today marks the new day of the new program, just the new cycle on the program, I didn't feel any need to change anything up since everything went so well last month. So we're just going to run it again with the solid increase of 5 pounds on all my maxes since I hit all my weights, because I am a very big fan of doing that progressive overload type of training, because it just makes the risk of injury so much lower. And it really makes the weights feel deserved every time you hit it. You don't feel like you're overdoing it. It's exactly what you deserve because you hit those weights in the prior program. But regardless of that, now that it's a new day on a new program, day one, I wanted to express my deep appreciation for the lightweight. And I know most people who train haven't been doing it for more than like a year or two, and I know this is not everybody. This is not even, I don't even think it's a huge proportion of everybody. I just think that most people, statistically, like to go heavy more than they do their volume. And that's fine. You'll get humbled eventually and fuck up your body. And then, just like me, we'll enjoy our lighter days and our lighter parts of the program. But more than that, is I've been injured enough in my earlier training days when I first got really committed to Olympic weightlifting that I have grown so fond of the work that I have to put into my light week parts of the program, or my lightweight parts of the program, because realistically, like, I don't really touch anything super heavy or nothing that really feels heavy until the third week, and I only go to like 85% on 2 exercises in the entire week, and the rest of it's like 80%. And every other week is a pause week, so I'm not going heavy until the peak week at the end of the program. So regardless of all that, I have seriously grown to I don't feel as hyped up on my heavy days as my lightweight days, but I feel very accomplished in doing this kind of training, because stuff that, even though it's not exactly what I want to be doing, it correlates with the passion behind the lifting, to where I know that this effort, kind of like getting your degree, not a lot of people like going to school, and it does suck for a lot of it, but that work you put in over those years, and the work that I put in these weeks of doing light volume conditioning for my form and my core, they build up so well to the point to where my peak week feels 10 times as good as it would have felt if I just tried to do it randomly. It feels like I absolutely should and deserve to go that heavy without any repercussion. Of course I can get injured at any time. I'm very well aware of that. But the confidence you build in a program when you spend so many weeks doing lighter weights, when you just want to jump the gun and just throw that shit. Like, statistically, I'm going off 315 for clean and jerk for the first time ever for my percentages, which is awesome. I did 310 last month and hit everything, so now we're at 315. But I'm not going to hit 315 until it's programmable, So I got at least like 4 or 5 months until you'll see something like that. But I do that because it feels deserved. If I were to do it now, it's hype for the moment, but the amount of strain it puts on my body, and then the amount of time I have to like recuperate to be able to lift comfortably again, it's never worth it, you know? And every time I try to do a max out or I add 10 pounds instead of 5, I plateau so much faster and so much harder than I would have if I had just done that seemingly small 5 pounds. You know, again, like last program, for example, my triples were at 180. This program, I did triples at 185 today on my snatches. That seems like a completely insignificant amount of weight that doesn't matter. You're just doing triples. You could have done 190, 195. I fucking know that. I could probably do 205 for triples. But that's not the point. It's the conditioning and the consistency that you give your body in order to make your recovery from those heavy days as maximal as possible. You know, you're not gonna just whip around whatever weights you want when you're doing triples and doubles on your Olympic lifts, and then when you get to your peak week, you try to PR. I guarantee you won't be able to hit it. You know, of course, when you're first starting out, you have a lot more room to grow than others because you have so much less muscle percentage on your body. Not even to shoot like strays at people. Just when you start, you have a lot more fat than you do muscle, and that is very good for gaining strength. It makes it so much easier to build that shit up. Like for me, I started my weightlifting career back when I was 14, 15, and I weighed about 225 pounds. And, you know, anybody can deduce that is a fat fucking child. But that time I got to spend increasing weight back then has made it a lot easier to appreciate why lightweight is so important now. You know, I spent so many years trying to hit PR after PR, and then you plateau long enough and you realize how little it really matters. You know, it's not about hitting that new weight, it's seeing the progress in general in your training. I feel like I'm going in circles a little bit, but I just really like emphasizing that these light weeks are partly why I am so passionate in my lifting. It makes it to where like my confidence can be at an all-time high. I mean, if you've been watching my whole peak week, I was basically 9 and over on every physical and mental rating I gave myself, simply because of how confident I was in my own strength at that time. Of course I know I'm going to kill these lighter weeks. I'm supposed to. You're supposed to go through a program doing weights you absolutely know you're going to kill, just so right at the end, whether you do a full week like I do or one day, you are going to have the most amount of confidence to touch weight that you never thought you'd be able to do. You know, like I went into my clean and jerk day last month. I was shaking. I know you probably couldn't have been able to tell, but I have not gone heavy on clean and jerk in a while. And to put on the 35 and go up to 295 for the first time in so long and kill it the way I killed it, that alone makes me, like, it's that drive that makes me want to put 315 on the bar right now. But knowing that I can recreate this feeling of passion over and over and over infinitely, as long as I maintain the efficiency in my lifting and doing it safely for the sake of my body and my own progress in general, not just seeing one single number go up, that's where I will find the most progression in this sport. At least I think so. Again, I know everybody's different, so it's really hard to give advice like this because everybody's got a different line of genetics and physical makeup that allows them to lift whatever they're able to lift. But this is why I'm saying the number doesn't matter, because everybody is so different and so unique when it comes to humans. Whoever you look up to them. Hope that you can do as good as they do, but never expect it, because goddamn it, you are never gonna lift or look as good as the people that you probably look up to. It's just everybody looks completely different on the inside, even if we're the same species. You know, like whatever muscles you got, then whatever potential you have for those muscles, they're not gonna line up with Arnold Schwarzenegger or Liu Xiaojun. It's impossible to expect yourself to look or lift exactly the same as whoever you look up to, because whatever they did to get there, whatever genetics they have, whatever conditioning they did, whatever light days that they appreciated by the end of it, they did it completely different than you did, and you're never going to be able to recreate the amount of, the only way that you really truly be able to possibly look just like or lift just like whoever you want to be like, you'd have to copy and paste every workout they ever did for their entire life, and even then your genetics would get in the way. So stop, don't think too much about how much heavy weight you need to be hitting because you see all these, even if it's just your friends that are stronger than you, whether it's genetics or the amount of effort they put in, look at that effort and be like, damn, that's something that I have the potential of doing. So let's just put in the effort and see if I can make some, if I can get some good results out of my training instead of worrying about, can I hit the same weight that he hit? Because the weight never fucking matters. It's just about whatever progress you made. Are you plateauing or are you working through that plateau? Because the more you think about that weight, the harder the plateau is going to hit, and the more you appreciate those light days and those conditioning days, as much as they may suck, you got to run 1,000 laps to beat the world record on whatever you want to do. So, I'm not going to make progress in my snatch form if I go super heavy all the time. I do thousands of snatches at lighter weights, whether it's my warm-ups or my working sets on my lighter weeks of the program, just so for the hope at that peak week when I get that really heavy day that I can see how well my form has progressed, because you can't bank on form when you go heavy like that. Your body's going to revert to the most basic instincts it has, and whatever form that you've been forcing on your lighter days because you knew you could hit those lighter weights, when the weight gets too heavy and you don't know if you're going to hit it, whatever bad habits you have are going to come out no matter what. So if you just appreciate those light days and take your time and really truly work on your form without worrying about the weight that you want to hit ahead of it, then the progress will show. Record everything. Nobody has to post anything. I'm sure everybody's gonna have a standard, and they're not gonna want to show people what they're looking like if they don't feel confident enough to do so. But record it for yourself, not for other people. When you record that shit for yourself, one, I feel you will find the confidence along the way to end up wanting to post it, because that's just how progress works. But two, you'll get to see that progress in your own unbiased sense. Like, you won't be influenced by other people's judgment. It's just a thing on your camera roll, and you're gonna look back at you 6 months ago and be like, damn, what a fat fuck. I look back at me from 9th to 10th grade in high school, and I'm like, holy shit, how did I let it get that far away from me? And even now I question, damn, I know I put in the work, and I am very proud to give myself that credit of why I'm here today. But sometimes I look at it and I'm like, how the fuck did I get to where I am today? The fact that it's still hard to come up with a certain correlation of how I have gotten to look as good as I wanted to and lift as heavy as I wanted to when I was at such a low point physically or mentally about what I was doing, and so that's I guess that's just the beauty of taking your time and appreciating each individual step along the way to get to those heavy days that everybody wants to hit. So just take your time. Especially if you're young. If you're going to lift consistently, you've probably got another 10 years of lifting under your belt that you can knock out, as long as you do it safe. I know I really want to gain strength through my 40s, so potentially I could be doing this for another 20 plus years. So why rush the weight if I got that much time? So that's all I got, I guess. I'm going to go do my thing. Hopefully there's ice cream in the freezer, and do you. Have fun with it. Don't overthink. But I gotta go. Bye.